love it here. And I got involved with LifeVantage because of the product. I fell in love with ProTangent, an awesome experience with it. And 3 years later, well actually 2 years later, after being hounded by the same people, I finally saw the vision of this business, and I have loved it. It's so fun. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's the most personal growth thing I've ever done, and so I'm so grateful to be here. And so now I'm Mr. Seth. He is from Spanish Fork, Utah. He's awesome. Like I said, he's a Master Pro 10, and we're excited to hear from him. So give him a big round of applause.
If you do that again, if I come back, will you do that again?
Yes.
Thank you. Is it official? Is it official, Miss Utah? Is it? Thank you, Miss Utah. Kid, Miss Utah.
Miss Utah.
Miss Utah just opened for me.
That's awesome.
I'm feeling pretty
I'm
good.
about to tell my why too.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. We'll give you a chance later. There'll be another rotation in a month or two. So good to be with you. Excited to be with you. For those of you who don't know why we are here, this is not a dance party. Okay? You have been invited to a network marketing meeting. Okay? If you did not know that, you need to turn to the person who invited you, Kendra, right? And you know, they owe you Dairy Queen or something. So, how many of you are distributors here? And okay. So, everybody who's not a distributor, raise your hand. We need to get some targets on you. Okay? Listen, thanks for coming. Okay? You don't have to run with us. We're not into sales. Sales is about transactions. Okay? Is there anything wrong with sales, by the way? Necessarily? No. So number one, let's just understand sales is okay. But network marketing isn't sales. Network marketing is about transformations. Okay? We're talking about business transformations. Kendra talked about personal development and growth, character transformations. It is a business. We're going to be talking about business tonight. We'll be talking about products, because if you want to have a good business, what must you have?
Products.
Good products, okay? So we're going to be talking about all that tonight, but what I want you to realize is you're here as a guest. You're our invited guest. It's like you were invited over to dinner. We're not going to make you cook dinner, okay? We're not going to make you pay for it. We hope it's good. We hope you don't not like it, okay? You're going to meet some, I'm not going to be the only speaker tonight. I'm going to have a bunch of other people speaking and sharing their experiences, talking about why they're here. My job tonight is two things. Number one, to tell you my own personal story, because we all have a story. And second, to give you a really no-nonsense, just kind of hands-on approach to how to evaluate a business. Is that fair enough? Okay.
Yep.
So, really briefly, my story. I lived on a ranch when I was really, really young in Oregon, and then I transplanted here to Provo, Utah when I was 8 years old. And I've been here basically ever since, although I have lived internationally a couple of times since then, mainly in Asia. I grew up with the idea that you go to school, get a good job, and work for the rest of your life. Has anybody ever heard that before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right crowd. I always kind of had that entrepreneurial bug. Like, I wanted to sell something, right? Sometimes when we think of entrepreneurial, it's just as a 10-year-old entrepreneur, you know, what do you sell? Wrapping paper from the elementary school, right? Right? Or chocolate bars for the Boy Scouts or whatever. And by the way, I was always the worst. I never posted any numbers. I stunk. I totally stunk at it. But I always had that idea, boy, it'd be cool to own your own business, right? To be successful. I saw successful people around me. When I was 12 years old, I'm LDS. My dad said, if you want to serve a church mission, that was always a dream of mine. I want to serve a church mission. My dad said, we don't have the money to send you on a church mission. So guess what? You got to go make it. And that was probably the best thing, probably the best single piece of advice that my dad ever gave me. And believe me, he gave me lots of advice. And so I went to work. I started looking for work. And it just so happens that one of the guys who was starting this little lotion company in a town called Provo, Utah, happened to be my Boy Scout leader. Okay? Before he made it really big. That's why he was in my neighborhood. And so I painted his house. And then he gave me a job in his warehouse, packing little jars of lotion and face cream. And on these jars, it said something like, new skin. Okay? And so that was literally the foundation of New Skin. In 1987, I was 12 years old. I got every one of my friends jobs there, which is really interesting. They were all older than me. But I had an in, right? I was in the right place at the right time, And they all wanted money, and they were willing to work that summer of '87. And so I had kids who were like 16 and 17 years old that came to me and said, can you get us a job? Right? So I went back and knocked on the door of Brooke Roney, okay, one of the Roney brothers, and I said, if you want me, you gotta take that. Okay? I don't know why I was so bold. I'm like, we're a partnership here. He's like, yeah, whatever, go to work. I was the only one who really continued. They all kind of flaked off, okay? But I worked there for 10 years, off and on, and until I was mid-20s. And that's just the power of networking, right? Do you believe in the power of networking?
Yeah.
That sometimes after all you can do and the hard work, I mean, if you want to be successful, is hard work a necessity? Absolutely. If you want to control your success, if you just want to be dumb lucky and inherit $10 million, you don't have to work hard. You just have to have the right rich aunt, right? And how many of you would actually sign up for that? You probably would, right? But do you have the choice? Can you do that? Can you create it? No. Okay? So we have to go create our own success. So you're going to have to work hard. But just after working hard, do two things really matter? Does timing matter? Like where you were. That you were in the right place at the right time. Does that really matter?
Yes.
Okay? I think it does. I think it matters. And the second thing is who you know. Does that matter in the world of business? It absolutely does matter. So we're already going to take for granted today in today's meeting that you will have to work hard if you want to be successful. So anything I say, if we talk about making money, if we talk about residual income, or as we talk about these things, if we talk about making significant amounts of money, will you just please remember that we already know you got to work hard. There is no such thing as being successful, being stupid and lazy. Okay? So that being said, that networking early in my career, how did I get my job? Was I in the right place? Yes. Was I willing to work hard? Yes, because if I wasn't willing to work hard, would he have hired me? No way. And did I have to prove that I was willing to work hard every single day for 10 years? Yeah. But that networking capability, would I ever have that job in that position if I didn't know him? No, I wouldn't have. So I really believe in networking. I didn't really realize it, but I've been networking my whole life. Anybody ever done networking? You ever gotten a job from a friend? You ever found out about a sale from a friend? Right? Networking matters, okay? And normally we do it every single day. We already talk about the things we like. We already work with people we want. Tim, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. Who's this?
Hi, I'm Ludi.
This is Ludi. Dude, we're not going to focus on you tonight.
Okay, no
Everybody
worries.
say hi, Ludi. I'm a pathological liar, Ludi. So, thanks for being here, guys. So that's my story. I worked there for 10 years. I thought I was going to be a corporate lifer. In other words, you find a good job and you stay there for life. Did anybody ever buy into that story as well? Did anybody else? It's kind of changing. 20 years ago, was that pretty much the norm? You just like get the education, the training, and go to work. How many of you are really, what are the odds that you're going to go and stay at the same company for an entire career?
Unlikely.
You think it's above 10%?
No.
I think it's below 10%. What are the odds that you're going to stay in the same career for your entire 40 or 50 year work life?
Not likely.
It's probably less than 20%, okay? They say we're going to change careers, major careers, 5 to 7 times. Now, yeah, isn't that crazy? Think about how many of you are going to school? How many of you really want to be going to school? Right? But you got to do it. I believe in education, right? You're enlightened. But, so I did that for 10 years. I was going to be there for life until a friend, again, this whole networking thing, said, you need to check out a book. It was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Have you ever heard of that book? Okay. Anybody read it? Absolutely changed my life. I learned about the different types of people in business. And I learned about how you make a living, how you make maybe some money, and how you can make a life. And are those sometimes different things? Very much so. Changed my life. That was in the late 90s. And I started just absolutely looking, praying, searching, interviewing, trying to find an opportunity, right? I met with friends. We talked about real estate. I looked at other deals. I looked at franchises. Anybody ever looked at franchises? Okay. And anybody surprised at how much it really costs to start a franchise? Like, we're talking about bread and meat on a, talking about a sandwich, and you want how much money? Right? Anybody ever done a franchise? Okay. What was your experience there?
A lot of work.
A lot of work. Did you make a ton of money?
Yeah.
Well, not a ton, but we opened up our first one in our 20s.
That's good.
We were very young and very naive.
A lot of sandwiches. What kind of franchise was it?
It was a carpet cleaning company called ChemDry.
Okay. ChemDry, sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I looked at franchises, and some networking happened. Some friends knocked on my door, literally 3 doors down, and they said, "Hey, what's Seth doing for work?" "Oh, he's working for New Skin. He's a corporate guy, right? Working his guts out, sleeping at the office, literally sleeping in my sleeping bag at the office in order to hit deadlines, right? In order to report to a boss. And but he wants to work from home." So that's kind of my why. The whole reason I ever became an entrepreneur is for really 1.5 things. Okay, I wanted to work from home. Anybody ever wanted to work from home, or maybe control your schedule? Those of you who have kids maybe not want to work at home. Maybe you want to get away, right? But that was me. That's what I wanted. I just wanted to work at home. Okay. In order to work at home, I also wanted to make decent money. Is that okay? Anybody want to make more money? Okay. So I had this bright idea. I had never made more than $40,000 in a year. I think I topped out at $38,000 a year, working my guts out, flying all over the country for somebody else, working overtime, right? Counting every hour on the plane, right? Because we got paid travel time. And so I sat down with my neighbors, and they said, "Well, why are you here? What do you want to do?" I want to make a ton of money." "Well, we're going to open up a clothing store. How much money do you want to make?" And I said, "I want to make $300,000 a year." Okay. Now keep in mind, I've never made more than 38. But what I said, and I was serious. I was probably young enough. To still have my dreams intact and to go for it. Okay. I was 25 at the time, and I was old enough to realize that there was going to be no handouts, and that I was in for 35 years of a corporate job that maybe I didn't want to do. So I'd been beat up enough, I think, to be seasoned a little, right? And I was young enough to still believe. And so I left. I left my corporate job. All my friends at that corporate job started laughing at me because we were selling women's clothing. And I'm a guy, right? So that wasn't too cool. By the way, I'm a size 10. I've tried on more women's clothing than I'd like to say. Mainly prom dresses and quinceañeras. So if you can imagine me like light blue. And someday when I run for office, those pictures will surface. I know that they will. So we started this company, we had success, and I doubled my income a little more in a year or two. So it was fun. But I learned what it's like to own a small business. Anybody ever own a small business? Okay. How many of you made more money in the small business than you would have made otherwise? Okay, so some of the hands, maybe half the hands went up. How many of you worked absolutely a ton more than you would have ever if you were with somebody else, right? And so what I realized is that although most successful people, right, most successful people who create fortunes in the United States, do they do it working for somebody else or starting a business?
Starting a business.
Absolutely starting a business, okay? At the same time, so it's a way to level up, right? It's a way to increase your level. It's an upgrade in life. But the catch side is, how many of you who owned your small business have had more free time? Okay, one. Just Michael. No, had more free time. Oh, sorry. After you started your business, I'm king at throwing out ambiguous questions. You remember your teachers at your elementary school teacher, they're always asking for questions. You're never sure what they're asking, and so you don't want to answer.